Okay, this is a technique I use for uh, finding the correct dimension of hole when I'm trying to get the tolerances down on a 3D print. Say you're trying to get the correct tightness of a uh, printed thread. Um, and this is generally kind of requires a lot of fussy manual input to do, but I kind of found a nice way to do this with a sketch and a linear pattern. And we're using onshape here. Trying out a new way of recording. Just set up OBS for the first time. So let's see. So let's hide all the planes. And so say, here's a use case. We are trying to make we know our fastener is say 3 millimeters wide as example. So we know our M3 bolt is about 3 millimeters wide. I don't want to go reference it right now, but just as example, easy numbers. Just set that to midpoint, set this to a construction line. We're going to start by just making it kind of bigger and more easily worked with than we need. I'm going to do a linear pattern on this. We're going to do it 11. We're going to do it 11 times, which sounds a little weird, but we start with our base number and then go up. Then we end up going up to the full scaled range. So it ends up working out. So we got 1, 2, 3. So say we start at 3 and we want to test at every hole in the range from 3 to 3.2. So let's make the top one. Let's make another. I'm gonna make it really big so it's easier to work with. So I'll change that and I'll change this number later. But what we're gonna do, again, I'm just gonna space them out so it's a little easier to work with. And what we're going to do now is for each of these, we're just going to go in and we're going to first make a line that starts tangent to here and goes up to this one. So this one is tangent to this, and this one is tangent to this. And by doing that, we have this rail. This is why it's nice to have this quite a bit bigger. We go in, we zoom in, and we're going to make a circle for each of these and make sure it locks into the tangent for each line. And then what we get after we do this, since these are all nicely tangent, is we can change the slope of the line. We can change the spacing of the linear pattern without having to go back and like manually enter these. I know there's probably some way involving a spreadsheet or whatever, but like often just having a visual like thing solved for you is kind of easier to work with. So now this is, as example, going from 3 up to 6. But what we really want is this really tiny range. Say we only want to go from 3 millimeters to 3.2 millimeters. So now it does all the math for you, which is like, I don't know, kind of nice. Let's see, what's this glued to? And then we're also going to glue this to the end of this, set it coincident to this. And we're going to change, since we're going to print this, just set these walls a little ways away. But what we get now is we get this row of tightly clustered scaling. We scale from one number to another really easily. So just this is a non-driven dimension, but we can see that by using the non-driving dimensions, we can easily change this guy over here to say 4, and now these guys automatically update over here. One thing I've been using a lot recently is the select other, I mean, not the select other, select equal length radius edges, construction line all of these guys, space and select everything, and then just make the first one that doesn't have a concentric circle that is scaled outside of it. Then we don't have to click 10 times. And we love not having to click as many times. So this is just, I'm not going to do that for all of them, but what we see is we get, since we did 11, we go from 0, we go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 total circles, which if you make this 10, then this ends up scaling to something that's not a round number. So now I can just, I'm done with that sketch, and we can extrude this guy as is. And since we hid all of the construction geometry that is scaled, that figures out our line centers, then we can just go ahead and print this. I'm noticing that this is a little too close together, so just go back and change that. That's 3.2 again. These are a little far apart. I don't really need them that far apart, so let's go 3.5. I'm sure you could just set a dimension here to make sure the smallest dimension is what you want, but this is good enough. Then I just go and print this. It really doesn't need to be 25 tall. I have been really liking when I print stuff, it's not the prettiest, but using Bamboo Labs or whatever your slicer likes to use, it's not the prettiest, but using the seam with a random location, because then the little blips of plastic, they average out, so then you get really much more consistent wall diameters. And if you're doing something that's like really tight tolerances, having that aligned seam down one edge is really, that actually throws it like off of the original center. So then I'd go and export this. I'd do the normal thing. Maybe I might even throw some text on the side, but then now we have, yeah, while we're doing this, let's throw some text on the side. And let's say M3 whole test 3 to 3.2. It's giant. Oops. Set this guy to use this. Make this one vertically aligned. Ah. There we go. And let's make this quite a lot smaller. Is 50 good? 40. And dimension this. I'm just kind of roughing this out. It doesn't matter. So now, and I'm sure you could do this with I'm sure you could do this with variables too. Let's make it go in instead. Half a millimeter, so it's still legible. But then once you're able to, once you do this once, then you can just keep this little brick around and be like, okay, I did this on clear PETG. And then you know that once you did it with ClearPutG, you know that you can just go back to the same little blip of material, maybe throw a lanyard hole in one end, and then you don't have to print the same thing a bunch of times. So this might be like, this is going to be like very loose, this is going to be like too tight, and this is, you could thread something in with a screwdriver, but probably around here you'll get something that like you could thread in with just your fingertips. So you can really dial in this the tightness of the thing. So anyway, thank you for watching that very ranty description. Um, I hope that is something useful to someone out there. Thank you for your time.